One's ready. One's ready. Go!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. This is your daily drop for 3 April. Before we get into that, it is brought by Barbell Apparel. Head over to barbellapparel.com. Get yourself some of those sweet jeans, chinos, joggers, graphic tees, dress shirts, polo shirts. They all stretch. They're all for active kind of body types. And this is their 11th anniversary. They've been around for quite some time. You've seen them on Joe Rogan. You've seen them, on Valhalla VFT. You've seen them on Us. So right now they're having a sale, buy two, get one free on select items. You can mix match, and then the lowest price item you're going to get for free. This sale goes on until the 28th of April. Go to barbellapparel.com, check at checkout, make sure you select One's Ready, and if not, hit other and type us in. That way, we get credit for that kind of thing. I'm not out here trying to do, things and not get credit for it. Like, why do that, right? All right. If you're new here, this is the news that gets curated by public affairs and sent out to all the commanders and the chiefs every single day. And so what I've done is I've kind of put these together and then cut them down, because if not, it's a multi-page email. And this is just kind of the highlights from what each of the commanders and the chiefs get, with kind of my own internal opinion or take on it, if I have one, for what it's worth. And guess what? You get what you pay for, which this is free. So there you go. Deal with it. All right. Joint news. Lieutenant General Dan Kane, Trump's Joint Chiefs nominees, warned that the U.S. electronic warfare skills, or EW, have weakened, urging enhanced training and range investments. He noted a 20-year shift in EW focus during his Senate testimony. A lot. I don't think we can overstate it, but so much has changed in the electronic warfare realm in the last 20 years. And we've been so focused on, operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Africa, and stuff like that, that we for sure have neglected EW. So it's going to be good to get a refocus and revector on it. Next, Secretary of Defense will skip the April 11th Ukraine Defense Contact Group meeting, signaling a U.S. reassessment of support forums. A U.S. official said this could limit intelligence sharing with allies. Man, at this point, dude, we've already got boots on the ground there. They've already got our jets. We're already doing strikes, apparently, according to reports that were just released. So we have been a lot more involved than the public thought. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. I know how I feel about it. And obviously there were things that I'm tracking and aware of that we can't put out on this kind of thing. So it is what it is. That's just the reality of where we're at right now. Next, Northcom's General Gregory Gillet pushed for tech to counter drones within 24 hours of detection, citing their growing homeland threat. The command aims to deploy flyaway kits within a year. I don't know what flyaway kits are, and I don't understand why, tech to counter drones within 24 hours of detection. Like, I don't understand that, and I don't know enough about it, and there's not enough detail in this to go in and pull out and kind of give you an insider baseball or opinion on it. So sorry about that. Next, the DoD's Deferred Resignation Program opens April 7th through the 14th, offering civilians paid leave from 1 May until resignation. Per a memo from Jules Hurst, it excludes certain employee categories with exemptions needing Joint Chiefs approval. Now, this is actually the second tranche of the kind of quote-unquote fork in the road for civilians, government civilians. The first one already happened, and they will continue to get paid until 30 September, the end of the fiscal year. This next one, I think they're supposed to get paid until December, but I can't remember off the top of my head because it doesn't have those details in this. But so basically, they didn't get enough civilians out, and they're looking to get more. The bad part about this is that means that the hiring freeze will continue, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel for it being lifted, which is a real shame because there's some great folks out there that want to come back and work for the government. And then there's also operations and scheduling and a lot of things that are being impacted by this hiring freeze. So hopefully it gets lifted soon. Next, the DoD aims for antitrust architecture in the weapon systems by 2035, said Zero Trust Office Director Randy Resnick. This involves integrating zero trust into future designs with operational tech guidance due by October. Man, I don't know what the hell that is either. Zero trust architecture. If you guys know what it is, feel free to speak up. I mean, I could sit here and look it up while I'm doing this, but I'm actually on a hand mic and I'd have to put the mic down. So maybe I'll do a little bit of research, and if this comes up, because you guys know there are repeat topics from day to day. So if this comes up again, I'll take a look and actually research some of it to let you guys know what it is. Air Force specific news: F-35s deployed to Jordan amid ongoing Houthi strikes, joining A-10s, B-2s, and carrier strike groups in CENTCOM buildup. Pentagon spokesperson affirmed decisive action against the threats from Iran and its proxies. Oh man, you guys are fucked over there. A-10s and B-2s. Oh man. And F-35s. Like, geez, dude, things are getting real over there. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm not a big fan of just bombing people to bomb people, but making sure we protect the seas and the trade and all that kind of stuff is important. And that's what the U.S. Navy does. And nobody does it better than the U.S. Navy. However, apparently they can't do it by themselves because we're sending F-35s, A-10s, and B-2s over there. So get stuffed, Navy. Next, 6 B-2 bombers at Diego Garcia bolstered U.S. forces in CENTCOM, signaling Iran and Houthis with additional air assets. There you go. We just talked about that. So they mention it again. Next one. New Air Force rules ground pregnant pilots and aircrew in their first trimester and ban ejection seat flights, aligning with other branches. Major commands now oversee waivers due to heightened risks. I'm not a woman. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an OBGYN or anything like that. So I don't know one way or the other. What I do know, though, is that back in the day, they used to tell pregnant women, as soon as you get pregnant, you got to stop working out. Like, that's like, oh my God, you got to stop working out. You got to stop running. You got to stop lifting weights. Where what it actually turns out is that if you're already that kind of active person and you're running and you're lifting weights, stuff like that, then you should probably continue to do so. And it's perfectly safe for you to do so. Now, if you had never done it before and then all of a sudden you get pregnant and you're like, you know what, I'm going to start jacking steel, that might be an issue. But so I can't say how that translates to being aircrew in their first trimester and then ejection seat bans and everything like that. So next, an F-16 joined the Venom AFT program at Eglin Air Force Base, advancing autonomous combat training through extensive simulations. I don't know any details about that, really. That doesn't go into. I'm trying to understand it as it's written, but I'm just not familiar with the Venom AFT program at Eglin. Autonomous combat training through extensive simulations. I wonder if this actually has to do with, like, if this plugs into the kind of joint synthetic environment, the JSE and that kind of stuff. But the fact that they don't even mention it, I'm not sure on it. But anyway, you got the news on that. Next, a site survey team assessed Forbes Field Air National Guard Base for KC-46 Alpha mission, a potential upgrade from its KC-35s. 190th Air Refueling Wing leaders and Topeka Chamber officials see it as a critical opportunity. I mean, I bet they do. That's a whole lot of money and a whole lot of mission and a whole lot of capability coming to their base, and it's only going to help out their economy. So I'm not really surprised that they're excited about it. It is a tremendous opportunity for them. Next, military working dogs Ember retired after 8 years at Peterson Space Force Base, celebrated for boosting morale. Tech Sergeant Cody Lake and handler Senior Airman Andrew Fogel honored her at a ceremony. Rock on, man. We love our military working dogs at One's Ready. And, Aaron Trent and I were definitely on quite a few missions with them in particular, not Ember, right? But other military working dogs, and they're something special. And it's amazing when you see the working dog come around a bunch of meat eaters and pipe hitters that are about to go out there and schwack somebody, and everybody gets all over this dog. Is like, ooh, it's pretty funny because we all definitely have a soft spot for our pups. All right, Space Force news: Rocket Lab and Stoke Space One Space Force contracts for NSSL Lane 1 missions, expanding launch options with innovative approaches. Brigadier General Kristen Panzerhagen aims to grow small firms into reliable partners. Yeah, you can't. I agree with this because what was the name of that company that just put something on the moon? Like, that's a small company. That is and they are a reliable partner. So as much as I love and I tout SpaceX, and you can say Blue Origins and all that kind of stuff, like, you need these smaller people also to help out because they have incredibly talented people there working for them that just couldn't get into SpaceX because of, open billets, or they weren't hiring at the time or anything like that. So I'm all about it. Next, AFWERX, or AFWERX is pronounced AFWERX for those that don't know, in case you want to look it up, is developing an AI tool with Slingshot Aerospace to track maneuvering objects in low Earth orbit, enhancing space domain awareness. The VP, Dylan Kessler, noted its complexity amid satellite proliferation. Yeah, I think we kind of talked about this before, is like, hey, whoever can capture these things and not just keep track of them, but like actually collect them in space is going to be the next kind of SpaceX type thing, unless it is SpaceX. And I think the next best thing is being able to track all of these objects. And when it says maneuvering objects, that means that it is actively maneuvering. So you're not thinking space junk, you're thinking other satellites that other countries put up that are able to move around. So I think this is a good thing, and getting us caught up in that space race that I keep droning on about, and you guys are probably tired of hearing. All right, Secretary of Defense Indo-PACOM tour signaled U.S. support for Taiwan against China, though analysts note Trump's transactional approach may temper commitments. A leaked memo labels China the DoD's top threat. That's such a weird thing to say because obviously the DoD and the U.S. has touted them as the biggest threat. I mean, that's why everything you hear is Pacific and China. Like, I don't know if that's that's definitely not a typo, but like, of course, nobody needed a leaked memo that labels China the DoD's top threat. Like, everybody just kind of knew it, especially if you listen to any kind of news. All right, next. Oh, and these are of interest. These aren't specific to Space Force or Air Force or anything like that. So next is Sheila Cummings proposed an industrial mobilization board to boost U.S. defense production against China and Russia, leveraging capitalism. She criticized DoD red tape as a strategic weakness. Completely agree. The bureaucracy in government and the DoD is insane. It would drive it, as taxpayers and people that work in private sector, it would drive you guys absolutely nuts. And I'll tell you, as somebody who retired from doing it for 25 plus years, took a 3-month break, and then is now back at it, it's like, dude, infuriating sometimes. So yeah. Next, analysts warn that flat budgets under Trump could undermine readiness against China, urging early spending increases. They see this month's budget as a pivotal decision point. yeah, we need an increased budget, and we need our budget early on. We don't need a continuing resolution because that doesn't do us any favors. I know everybody talks about the government shutting down, but you know what? Shut the government down then, because the only way that Congress, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, like, and you're in Congress, you are fucking this shit up and making us weaker by doing a continuing resolution. And you could say the same thing for shutting the government down, but you know what? We keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, i.e., the continuing resolution. Maybe what we need is something different, and maybe what we need is a shutdown so you guys can pull your heads out of your asses. All right. Finally, Air Force vet Mark Miller reflected on racial disparities he witnessed in the 1970s, learning from his black roommate about unequal treatment. He lamented persistent societal divides decades later. Okay, man. I don't know. I got no comments on that. I don't know anything about that, what you're talking about. So, um, anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I do appreciate the feedback on the sound and let me know that it is better now. So that's great. That's because I'm holding the I'm actually physically holding the microphone closer to my mouth. So, anyway, everybody have a good one. Thank you for all your support. Don't forget to head over to onesready.com, hit like button, subscribe, always gives a thumbs up, hit that notification bell. And then again, check out Barbell Apparel. Their stuff, like I even got complimented on my polo shirt today because it's the only polo shirts I wear is Barbell. And yeah, compliments. That's what it's all about, just getting compliments. I'm here to please you and everybody else, right? All right, peaches out.